Hey, if you'd like YouTube, welcome back to another episode of the Black Pearl. Okay, so just a quick update on the tank. Slight problem. This ehiem Compact 5000, great pump, but unfortunately it's just not powerful enough to run the Black Pearl. It's got to run the tank obviously, and it's also got to run my phosphate reactor and my protein skimmer, and it's just no cutting it. So pretty gutted, like, because I was kind of hoping I was going to get away with just using this and me having to get another pump. But after looking at the protein skimmer, I can see that it's not getting the amount of water that it needs. And if I do give it the right amount of water, then there's hardly anything going up into the display. So, looking at the Deltec instructions, this is how I've got my protein skimmer set up just now, where it gets the feed off the return pump. And this is what I'm going to change it to, just as a temporary fix until I can get a new pump. I'm just going to plumb it into the overflow. Right, so first thing I'm going to have to do is remove that pipework there. And I've disconnected the plumbing to the protein skimmer. I've just lifted it up out of the way because it will be reused. I can't see me keeping it like this. Is, like I say, it's just going to be temporary until I can afford to get a new pump. So I'm just going to remove that centre overflow, and I'm going to use that to feed this skimmer. Okay, so I've got it plumbed in now roughly. Just attached a U-bend and just some flexible hose, and then stuck it straight into the skimmer. I'm going to switch this on and I'm going to see what kind of flow I've got. I'm not changing any of the settings on the skimmer because I want to see, because I'm not even sure if the water coming from this overflow is going to be enough to actually run this protein skimmer. So it might just be a case of out the frying pan into the fire sort of thing, but we'll see. I've got it running just now, so it's just filling up with water from the overflow. Seems to be, Jesus, that's a fair amount of water coming out of there, like. I need to turn it down. It's actually a lot faster than what the water that was going through the protein skimmer from the return pump. So yep, this is definitely going to be enough to run the protein skimmer more efficiently. So I'm just going to have to make a few little adjustments, and it's going to take a wee bit of tweaking to get this all working right, I think. But I'll stick the protein skimmer on just now and we'll see how it's going. I'm going to have to leave this for like 24 hours just to settle down and get an idea of how it's going to perform. I used a 90 sweeping bend just to reduce the restriction on the pipework, so I should get plenty of flow doing it. Okay, so the overflow, it keeps draining and then sucking in the air down into that tube there, so I've actually had to do a little bit of fine tuning in order to get this to work. Finally got it working perfect now. You can see the amount of water it's shooting out of here. This protein skimmer is getting more than it needs, like, in order to run effectively. Because it was just nae getting enough for that ehiem pump. But it's definitely working a lot better now. So I think 24 hours I'll be able to have a better idea as to what adjustments need doing, but I think so far so good. In the end I had to add this wee ball valve just in order to get the overflow to work properly. It didn't take much of a restriction, but I just had to restrict it slightly, otherwise the overflow just kept running dry and soaking in air. But got it working sweet now, so that's fine. I will, however, change it back as soon as I get another pump. Well, it was 24 hours later, and the protein skimmer had actually been running super wet, and the cup was just full of water basically, so I've turned it down again, but there's still a load of water shooting out of here, so I've added that wee 90 just to keep it a wee bit more quiet. It was a bit of a racket. I mean, it's pure dirty water, it's going straight for the display tank into the protein skimmer, but I think I will get it put back the way I had it as soon as I get another return pump, just because I think it's going to make a bit of a mess again over time. Okay, shipmates, I've got a dilemma. I can't make my mind up as to who's going to go into the black pearl. I mean, I'm approaching the time now where fish are actually going to start making their way back to the black pearl, and obviously the first fish that are going to go are going to be the clownfish. But choices. I can't decide if I'm going to keep the snowflakes and put them in, or if it's going to be the minstrel clowns that's going to go in. Obviously, whichever one doesn't go in will go into the dead man's chest that I'm going to build alongside it, like. But just having these guys in dead man's chest, they've just developed a pretty cool character, and they're not as shy as they were, and they're just like great, and I'm really enjoying them now. She packs a punch. She may be small, but Jesus. Yeah, so she used to be really shy. Not anymore. She's definitely a tough wee pirate. Bite your finger off. So, really enjoying these snowflakes again. Kinda did get a wee bit bored with them, I think, but just loving them now, which is making my decision all the harder. I've had a few offers with people wanting to buy them, like, but oh nah, I don't think I'll ever get rid of them. I think they're too cool. And here's the minstrel clowns. Black clownfish in a black tank. No, the best idea, like, but never mind. You can see them here. They are pretty cool, like, so this makes my decision all the harder. I can't decide which species is actually going to make it into the black pearl. Just a bit of a bummer that they didn't get on, like, but never mind. So, if it was you, what would you do? Cast your votes now. Would you vote snowflakes to be the first fish into the black pearl? Or would you go for the minstrel clownfish to go into the black pearl? Give me your input, because I can't make my mind up, because I love them both. But talking about the fish, the quarantine, everybody's ready to go. They're all perfect. Right, the blooming diatoms are coming back, and the green hair algae is back with a vengeance. Now this is absolutely pissing me off now, like, I've got to be honest. Just secretly, a few subscribers have suggested that the phosphates are leaking out of the rock, and I have to agree with you. It definitely is. Is that this isn't just the aftermath of my son's incident, because that happened flipping weeks ago and that should not be such a big deal. So I think the phosphates are continuously leaking out the rock. But obviously there will come a time once all the phosphates etc. have been stripped out of the rock, and this crappy time will pass me by. So I look forward to that day coming. Can't see it happening anytime soon, like, but the sooner the better, because this is just really a pain in the backside, to be honest. Fed up with it now, like, but never mind. So what I've got to get now is I've got to get a new return pump, which totally sucks. I just can't believe it, man. So in fact, I think I'm actually going to get in touch with Fluval and tell them, because I mean, the price you pay for that pump and for it to be knackered after, I don't know, I don't even think it's a year. It's just blooming poor show, that, like. So I'm thinking I'll maybe just get a Jabo DC 12,000, which will be like double the power of the Fluval, and that'll be able to run the Black Pearl, any reactors I want, plus the protein skimmer, no problem. So I think that's probably the pump that I'm actually going to go with. The other thing, a few subscribers have suggested that I get a UV sterilizer on here, and you bet your bottom dollar it's on the list, so I'm going to get one of them. I used to use TMC Vectin 25 watt UV sterilizers, but can this, man, the way that the whole setup of them, and they're massive, right, but they're just awkward, can't plumb into your system, and they're flipping ugly. So I had two of them on my old tank. They worked great, don't get me wrong, again, really good, like, but they were just a pain in the backside to install onto your system. So I'm going to look into get something else. Plus, the water goes through that UV in a straight line. I'm wanting to get a UV like the Aquamedic, for instance, that has a helix system where the water actually spirals through the UV tube, through the quartz sleeve, and it goes in a spiral in motion, which gives it double the time period to run through, which makes it more effective. So that's the type of UV that I want. And I also want to try and get a really high wattage. So I'm wanting to get something about 70 watts to 80 watts UV sterilizer. I mean, it is going to be a massive beast of a thing, like, but I just think the higher the wattage, the better, basically, for my tank, I'm thinking. So that's the plan anyway. But yep, that's it for this episode. So just a quick one, but till next time, thanks for watching. Bye bye.